Welcome back to another episode of Door to Deceit. I'm your host, Ash, and I'm happy you're here. Thank you so much for tuning in and for your continuous support on every episode. I appreciate y'all so much. Now, they say love can't be forced, but what happens when someone refuses to let go? Today, we're diving into a story of love, obsession, and a brutal end that no one saw coming. Let's get into it. Our story begins in Highland Heights, Kentucky. It's 2011, and Ryan Poston, a successful 28-year-old attorney, decided to shoot a message to a little cutie named Shayna Hubbers that he saw on Facebook. Now, he'd apparently messaged her after he saw her spring break photos. She was about 19 or 20 at the time, and she was a college student working towards a degree in school counseling. Obviously, he was older. He was 28, more established, had his own career, his own place, but he was very drawn to her. So the two began dating, and things got serious pretty quickly, but it wasn't necessarily in a healthy way. Now, by all accounts, Ryan and Shayna's 1.5 year long relationship was rocky, to say the least. They broke up at least 10 times in a 1.5 years. It was toxic. Like, friends, they said it was a complete cycle. They would make up, they'd break up, they'd make up, repeat. Shayna was jealous, she was possessive, and incredibly attached. When Ryan's text got leaked, it was revealed that he was actually trying to pull away from her. He was telling friends that he was feeling smothered and that he was afraid to be mean to her. He was afraid that she would snap. He even joked that Shayna would probably kill him if he ever broke up with her for good. And he was half joking, but y'all, he was completely fucking right. It's super sad because Ryan had a bright future ahead of him. He had a strong mind, a great career, and a close-knit family that absolutely adored him. In fact, on the very night in question, he was supposed to go on a date with Miss Ohio. Her name was Audrey Bolt, but he just never made it. Now, on the flip side of things, we have Shayna. And to her, her relationship with Ryan was anything but casual. It was not temporary. It was not a fling. She believed that she loved him, and more than that, she believed that she deserved him. Now, personally, I think that you should always feel like you're deserving of your partner, but it's a difference between feeling like you're deserving of them and feeling like you deserve them. Possession is a hell of a drug. She sent him hundreds of text messages, showed up uninvited to his place, tracked his location, tracked his activity on Facebook, faked illnesses. Like, her messages, when they were leaked, they swung wildly between being super affectionate and then straight to hostility. So it'd go from, I love you so much 1 minute, and then the next, I hate you, I hope you fucking die. Like, it was crazy. Then came the final straw. Y'all remember that date that I mentioned earlier? Well, on the night of October 12th, 2012, Shayna showed up at Ryan's condo, and from there, terror fucking followed. As usual, okay, this is one of the things that actually really bothers me about doing true crime, and it's something I recognize when I'm writing the scripts. It's like, it's kind of difficult to get a lot of the what happened in the room accounts, obviously, because the only people who can tell you that are either the victim or the killer, and typically the killer has every reason to lie or be full of shit or, just tell a half truth or something that makes them look better. So it's very difficult when I'm writing the scripts to get like a lot of either the background info or just the info of like what happened in the room between the two people. There's no video or whatever, so it's hard to do. So point is, there's plenty that we don't know, but what we do know is that at some point that evening, she picked up Ryan's gun and she shot him. Not once or twice, but 6 times, y'all. 6. SIX times. Then she waited almost 5 minutes before calling the police. When she did finally call the cops, she started telling her whole fucking story on the phone. Now, this is one thing that I've always noticed, and I've watched true crime my whole life in one way or another, girl. And one thing that I have always noticed is when the person is guilty, they call the cops and they start fucking confessing on the phone. to the 911 operator. It's like, oh my God, I just walked into the house after I just got home from my trip and I haven't been here this whole time and my husband is on the ground. He's dead. Oh my God, I don't know how this happened. And it happens the same way pretty much every time. So she calls and she tells the dispatcher, I killed my boyfriend in self-defense. And from there, baby, we were off to the races. She said he was throwing her around the room, that he threw her into a bookshelf, that she was afraid for her life, and that he was somehow, at that same time of throwing her around the room, reaching for his gun. But somehow, even though she was getting thrown around the room and he was already reaching for the gun, she got to the gun first. And then that's when the shooting occurred. Now, that didn't sound like it made no fucking sense to me, and I'm sure it didn't sound like it made any fucking sense to the detectives either, okay? Because once they checked the scene, it did not match the story that she was telling. The way she was saying it, he was being so violent, he was chucking her around the room like a rag doll. That place should have been tore the fuck up. And yet, that was not the case. Ryan was shot 6 times, including twice in the face. And one of those times when he was shot in the face, he was already down on the ground. So, girl, that's what we like to call overkill, babes. That's not self-defense. We've already crossed that bridge, if that was even a bridge we were crossing. Okay, we are on the other side of that, onto your ass is going to jail territory. You tried that. And to make matters completely worse, I'm not gonna call her name. I'm trying to be a better person. This woman decided that she was going to tell the police when they asked her why she shot him when he was already down on the ground. She said it was to stop the twitching. That is so, oh Lord, the girls are sick. So in the hours after the shooting, Shayna was taken to the police station for questioning. She wasn't panicked. She wasn't crying. Instead, she talked like non-stop. She told the detectives that Ryan had been abusive, like the whole time they were in a relationship, that he was emotionally cruel, that he would say awful things to her, he'd be disrespectful and mean and cheat and be on bullshit and all that. But between all those claims were the moments that really, really unsettle you. I think the thing that bothered me the most about her in the interrogation was how delusional she was the whole time. I think that was what was so unsettling for me. At one point, she laughed and said, I shot him right here. I gave him his nose job. Because she and Ryan had had conversations about cosmetic surgery he had wanted to get before. Another time, she started dancing and singing in the interrogation room. Like, bitch, do you think you're Jodi Arias? Like, get a grip. She even said, I'm so good at acting. She twirled her hair. She was screaming out loud, I did it. Yes, I did it. I can't believe I did it. Like, as if she had, I don't know, won something or did some kind of achievement. Girl, you killed somebody. The fuck is wrong with you? And then in a moment that would absolutely make Miss Regina George roll her eyes and throw that bitch in a trash can, she said, I'm really pretty. I don't know if you know this, and I'm not even trying to be funny, but I'm too pretty to go to prison. Girl fucking please. Girl fucking please. Just ridiculousness. Anyway, when investigators ended up reviewing the scene fully, they noticed there were no signs of the struggle that she was talking about on the phone. The neighbors reported no screams, just the sounds of gunshots that night. There were no bruises on Shayna. There were no defensive wounds on Ryan. Not shit. So detectives shifted gears completely at that point, and they started to dig into the relationship. And what they found painted a picture of pure obsession. Shayna had sent Ryan thousands of messages, many of them after he had tried to break stuff off. She had once texted him that she loved him so much that she would rather be dead than be without him. His friends testified that she constantly showed up uninvited. She monitored his Facebook activity, like I said before, and once she joked at the gun range that she wanted to shoot him if he ever left her. Investigators at this point, baby, they had seen enough. They locked her ass up and they took it right on the trial. Okay, so at the trial, the prosecution actually argued that this was not self-defense. It was premeditation. They said that she knew that Ryan was planning on meeting someone new and that she was not going to let that happen. So, after just 5 hours of deliberation, a jury actually agreed. Okay, they said, Miss Thing, you got to go to prison. We're tired of it. Lock her up. Shayna was actually found guilty of murder, and she was sentenced to 40 years in prison. But her case did not end there. So in 2016, her conviction was actually overturned. Can you fucking believe it? And the reasoning is one of the jurors that was on her previous trial actually had a prior felony that disqualified them from serving. That's actually really crazy to me, that you can't even be on a jury with a felony, but you can be the president. Okay, I digress. We're going to move on. Shayna was granted a new trial. You know, the evil just keep on winning. So then in 2018, she was actually tried again. And luckily, once again, they found her as guilty. And this time, see, this is what you get, because she should have just shut the fuck up and sat there and ate her food. This time, she was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 20 years. Her earliest chance for release will be in 2032. Oh, God. Which actually isn't that far away. It's literally, what, 7 years? You almost there, I guess? I hope they don't let you out, no shade, but, you know, hey. So as of today, Shayna remains incarcerated at the Kentucky Correctional Institute for Women, but she has not faded from public view even though she is inside prison walls. So actually in 2018, Miss Thing decided to make headlines again because she got married to another inmate while she was in prison. Now, the marriage actually ended in divorce just a few months later. I'm sorry, y'all. It's just so funny to me that people are getting married and divorced while in prison. Like, what the hell is going on? What was the point? What was the point of the marriage? Anyway, former cellmates of Shayna's actually say that she faked bruises, she laughed about killing Ryan, and that she admitted that it was not self-defense. They also alleged that she carried out the killing because Ryan was seeing someone else, and she just was not having that shit. That is actually really unsettling because, girl, that man was almost a decade older than you. Y'all had clearly not enough in common to keep the relationship going. If he wanted to part ways, you should have just let that rock. You were 20 years old, sister. There's so much life that you could have been out living, having a good old time, doing your 1-2, but you decided to throw your entire life away at 20 behind a man who was past you. Y'all were in different stages of life. It wasn't like he was above you or anything. It's just y'all were in different fucking stages of life. And if y'all couldn't figure out how to meet there in the middle and make it work for y'all, that's it. Damn, sister, now you're locked up for the next 40 years or next billion fucking years, whatever it is, because you couldn't take no for an answer. It's sad. And I think what makes this case so awful for me is how quickly stuff escalated. And I feel like it kind of forces us to ask the hard questions. Could Ryan have saw this coming? Were there signs that people ignored? And honestly, what really happened in those final minutes between those two people who once claimed to love each other? Like, was this just a tragic emotional breakdown, or was this a calculated decision? And if so, should she even have the chance for parole? You know, because if this is something you genuinely set out to do and you step by step planned it, that's fucked up. I don't think you should get a chance to get out on parole so you can do it again. I think the fuck not. But, you know, that was the story. That was definitely the story of Ryan Poston and Shayna Hubbers. And it is one that reminds us that obsession can wear many a mask. And sometimes it turns deadly. But that's it for me, y'all. Until next time, I'm out of here. Thank y'all for listening. And I hope you're leaving having learned some lessons. And if not, go back and listen again. I'll see y'all next time. And hey, do not forget to lock that door behind me. You never know what could come crawling in.